Raven Elise TV.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Raven and I am here with a pregnancy update video. This is my third pregnancy update, so if you have not seen number 1 and 2, I definitely suggest that you check those out so that you can be caught up. But I wanted to come back and do another pregnancy update video and just answer some more of you guys' questions. I got a lot of requests to make this video and touch on some different topics that I have not touched on before, so I definitely wanted to do that for you guys. So let's just jump right into the questions. So first of all, I am 27 weeks pregnant now, and I know that might be kind of confusing to some of you guys because it may seem like I am not counting my weeks correctly, because when I first started counting my weeks, I was counting my weeks based off of a certain due date, but then after I saw my doctor, she gave me a different estimated due date that was supposed to be more accurate. So now I'm counting my weeks based off of that due date. So there was kind of a discrepancy in between, but now for sure I am saying that I'm 27 weeks pregnant now. So my estimated due date that I'm going off of now is March 28th, 2016. But as y'all know, a due date is just an estimate. It does not mean that baby Zaya is actually going to be born on the 28th, but you know, just somewhere around there. So I'm about to go into my third trimester now, so things with my pregnancy are definitely changing. I'm definitely starting to have cravings, definitely starting to have some different symptoms, and you guys are asking me about that. So in terms of cravings, I definitely, well, first of all, I definitely feel way more hungry overall. Like I just feel like I'm hungry all the time. And not only that, but I'm thirsty all the time. Like I'm so thirsty. Right now I'm actually very, very thirsty, and usually I keep a huge bottle of, actually I'm gonna go get it. So these are the bottles of water that I keep on hand. I have to have this by my side at all times. This is a 50-ounce bottle of water. It's like the big jumbo one. I mean, as you can see, it's like bigger than my head. And I just get these at CVS for like $2 each or whatever. And I have to keep one of these nearby at all times or else I will die. Like that's how I feel. I'm always so thirsty, and it's so weird because I'm not a big water drinker. I'm one of those people who, like, if you would have asked me last year, I almost never drank water because I didn't even like the taste of water, which I know sounds kind of weird, but I hated drinking water. But nowadays I have to have this near me at all times. And then like I said, I'm also really hungry all the time, and when it comes to cravings, I have like really random cravings, but I would say like the main thing that I crave is just sugar and sweets overall. Like I always want to eat candy, I always want to eat like muffins and cookies and like sweet fruit and yogurt. Oh, fruit, yes, fruit is definitely like my top craving, because obviously I don't just want to eat candy and cookies 24/7. So in order to get that sugary taste, I just choose to eat fruit instead. And so I'm hooked on fruit, like any type of fruit. Grapefruit, apples, grapes, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. When I go grocery shopping, I just basically get every single fruit that they have in the produce section, and I keep those on hand, and I can literally sit there and eat a whole package of strawberries, a whole package of raspberries, and a whole package of blackberries. I can eat it all in one sitting and like be wanting more after that. And then in terms of symptoms, the main like symptom, or like I don't know what else to call it besides symptoms, but like feelings that I've been having, is just that I definitely get sleepy a lot easier, and I go to bed at like, I can go to bed at like 7:30 at night, honestly. If I really wanted to, and if I really wasn't doing anything, I would go to bed at like 7:30 at night, especially because with daylight savings, it gets dark at 6 p.m. Sometimes I really just want to go to bed as soon as the sun goes down. As soon as it gets dark, I'm tired. Like I don't know if it's just because of the sun, or if it's because of my pregnancy, or if it's because of what, but I definitely want to go to bed a lot earlier. But because of that, I also wake up super early. So I wake up every day between 6 and 7 a.m., which is weird for me because I am not a morning person at all. I'm one of those people who always wants to sleep in, who was always running late for school because I can never wake up on time. But these days it's like clockwork. 6:30 a.m. I'm just wide awake and I'm like, why am I even awake? I don't need to be awake right now. But that's probably a good thing because it's probably going to be pretty good practice for when baby Zaya is actually here and she's waking me up at the wee hours of the morning. At least I'm getting my practice in now. Some other stuff that has been different or that has started happening in the recent weeks has been definitely a lot more kicking. When Zaya first started kicking, I would say it was when I was like 20 weeks. I'm 27 weeks now. So yeah, probably when I was like 20 weeks-ish is when I first could start feeling her kicking. And it just kind of felt like little butterfly kicks, like little movements. Like I couldn't even really tell if it was really her kicking or not because it was so faint. It almost just kind of felt like I had gas or something like that. But over the weeks, like once I started getting to 22 weeks, 25 weeks, and especially now that I'm 27 weeks, I can feel those kicks. And I feel them strong and I can see them from the outside. When she's kicking, you can see the lumps and bumps in my belly. You can see her foot poking out or whatever it is. Like I can definitely feel it. And it's to the point now where I feel like I can actually differentiate different body parts. Like if something bumps, I feel like I can actually tell the difference of whether it was her hand or her head or her leg or her elbow. I feel like I can tell the difference. And it's pretty cool because honestly it is really cool to be able to feel your baby moving inside of you. But sometimes it's not so cool and it's not so cute because sometimes it can be very uncomfortable and very annoying. For me, I know that Zaya likes to start kicking when I lay down. Most of the time if I'm up throughout the day and I'm walking around and I'm doing stuff, I don't really feel anything. But as soon as I lay down and I'm trying to get comfortable, boom, she starts kicking. It's like she doesn't like that. She doesn't like to be put like horizontally or whatever. So every time I lay down, every time I try to relax, that's when she really starts kicking really hard. And so it makes trying to relax really difficult and it makes falling asleep really difficult sometimes as well. Overall, I can definitely tell that she is starting to develop a lot more and just be able to do more things. I feel a lot more movement, and they say that by now she should be able to actually hear her surroundings and hear my voice and recognize my voice. So sometimes if I'm laying down and if I'm like talking on the phone or like talking to her or whatever, I feel like she can hear me because sometimes it almost feels like when I say something, she moves. And it was really cute in my last doctor's appointment when I had my ultrasound. When they put the ultrasound on, she actually had the hiccups and you could see it so clearly. She was like, and her little belly was like jumping up and down. It was so cute. I was like, I can't believe that this baby is not even fully developed yet, but they can already have the hiccups and stuff like that. So I also got some questions in terms of like my birth plan and kind of like my motherhood plan overall, I guess. My birth plan, I can't really fully say what exactly my birth plan is yet. I still have to talk to my doctor a little bit more about those types of things, but for the most part, I can tell you that I do plan on delivering in a hospital in a traditional medical based type thing. I'm not really trying to do a home birth or have a midwife or a doula or anything like that, like those non-traditional or more, I guess you could call it old-timey ways to have a baby. I am choosing to take the more traditional route and have my baby, you know, kind of, I would say the regular way in a hospital, but really that's not really what can you really say is regular when it comes to stuff like this. But yeah, I am planning on having her in a hospital with a regular doctor and stuff like that. In terms of like drugs and epidurals and stuff like that, I kind of have mixed feelings about it because I really would like to have as natural of a birth as possible, and every woman is different and every woman should be allowed to make her own decisions and have her own feelings when it comes to giving birth. I mean, this is probably the most personal thing you're ever going to do in your life. You should definitely do your own research and make your own decisions decisions, and don't let anybody pressure you into doing anything either way. So because of that, and because there's so much information out there, and I've done so much research, and I've heard so many mixed stories, and I have some people telling me, oh, you should do this and you should do that, it's really hard for me to make a decision. At the end of the day, it's like, am I gonna just say I'm not gonna do any drugs, no epidural, no nothing? Or am I gonna say, oh, maybe I might, I don't know. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not totally sure how I feel about that type of stuff yet. And I honestly feel like it's gonna be one of those things where it's like in the moment, depending on how I personally feel in the moment, depending on my pain level, and if I really feel like I need the drugs or not. So I just really don't know. But since I will be in a hospital setting, that does obviously increase my chance of using medications and drugs and epidurals, whatever, stuff like that. But I just don't really know. One thing that I do know is that the thought of a C-section really scares me. I've never had any surgeries in my life ever. I've never had to be under the knife at all. So just the simple thought of a C-section really scares me. Obviously, sometimes you can't really control it, and sometimes you really just don't have a choice, and you need to have a C-section in order to save you or your baby's life. And so I understand that that's a possibility, but I just really hope that doesn't happen to me, because I am really scared about having a C-section. So I'm hoping that I will not have to have one. I hope that I can just have a nice, healthy, natural birth, and everything just goes right, and we just push a few times, and maybe I'm in labor for maybe like 5 hours or less, and nothing goes wrong, and I just push the baby out the normal way, and everything is all happy and good. That's what I'm hoping for. But honestly, giving birth to a baby is no joke. Trust me, I have heard so many stories that when you're pregnant, the first thing that people want to do is tell you what happened to them when they gave birth. So I have heard all of the stories about being in labor for 24 hours and having all these different complications, and this happened and that happened. So I am very aware of all the different things that can happen, and all of my different options, and all the different stuff that goes into it. It's just so much that it can honestly be overwhelming, and it can be very scary. And so I definitely have anxiety about it. But like I said, I'm just hoping for the best. I'm just hoping for the most healthy, safe outcome that I could hope for, and I feel like that's all I can do at this point, and just continue to do my research and continue to do my part in terms of, you know, being the mother and making sure that I'm healthy and everything like that. So that's really all I feel like I can do. One thing that I am pretty sure of is that I definitely do want to do breastfeeding. Like I said, everyone has their options, everyone has their feelings on it. Some women choose to breastfeed or choose to bottle feed, or some people do a combination of both. I would like to try primarily breastfeeding, if not totally breastfeeding. Sometimes I know there can be complications and you might not be able to breastfeed, but as long as I am able to breastfeed, I would definitely like to breastfeed. Now, in terms of how long I plan on breastfeeding, because I know some women breastfeed all the way up until they're 2 years old, 3 years old. Some women stop breastfeeding very early on, but I'm not sure about that. I kind of don't see myself being one of those moms who breastfeeds up into a later age. Like I said, having a toddler who is still breastfeeding, I don't see myself doing that personally, just because I just can't imagine, I don't know how to explain it, like having that response. I guess I would want my toddler to be more independent than that, if that makes sense, which that might sound wrong or sound crazy, but I would like them to be able to hold your own cup, feed yourself. Like, you need to start learning how to hold your own spoon and hold your own cup and feed yourself. At least that's how I feel. And so I don't want you to have to keep bugging me and be hanging on me every time you need to eat. Like, I got stuff to do, okay? Which obviously, like, I'm joking. I'm not being totally serious when I say that, but I just personally don't see myself breastfeeding until like a late age or anything like that. And then the other thing that you guys wanted me to talk about was like stretch marks and stuff. As you guys probably know, my belly is really not growing that big. I mean, I definitely have a belly. It's definitely there. Everything's all good. My doctor said everything is all good, but my belly is pretty small. This is my first child. A lot of times if it's your first child, your belly is not gonna get as big as it might get, but it depends. Every woman is different. But for me, and this being my first child, my belly is pretty small, so I'm not really stretching or growing that much that fast. So that means that I don't have to worry about stretch marks as much. So far I have not gotten a single stretch mark, which is awesome. But I have also been using a few products to try and help not get stretch marks anyway. So I have a couple of different products that I use like on a daily basis just to, you know, just as a precautionary measure, just in case. The first thing that I started off with was just this Palmer's Cocoa Butter Stretch Marks Massage Lotion. It's basically the main one that they talk about in terms of drugstore products to help with stretch marks, especially for pregnant women. And so yeah, it's just a cocoa butter lotion. It has vitamin E in it. So I started off with this, and this is like when my belly first started growing. I was like frantic, like I need to get something for stretch marks. I don't want to get stretch marks. So I bought this, and I would put this on every day after I got out of the shower. I don't use this one as much now because honestly I hate the smell of it. It smells like, it smells like, it has that cocoa buttery smell, like kind of like that chocolatey, coconutty smell, but it smells bad to me. So you know, when you're pregnant, your senses are very sensitive and your sense of smell is very sensitive. So I stopped using this mostly because of the smell. And I went on to use this instead. This is a CVS brand skin treatment oil, but really what it is just a knockoff of bio oil. A lot of you guys may have heard of bio oil. It's used for a lot of different things just to treat your skin. It's used to help with scars. It's used to help with extremely dry skin. It's also used to help with stretch marks and stuff like that. So it's just a very thin oil. It kind of has this pink color to it, and it just has a lot of good ingredients to help with the elasticity and the regrowth of your skin. So this kind of has a very faint kind of flowery smell to it. It doesn't have a strong smell at all. So now I pretty much use this on a daily basis. I just get a few drops and I rub it all over my belly, all over my hips, all over any area that might get a stretch mark, and I definitely really like this stuff. And then the other two things that I use in terms of keeping my skin moisturized and helping with stretch marks and stuff are these two body butters. And these are actually made by my friend Holly. She has an Etsy shop where she makes homemade skincare stuff, body butters, bath bombs, all that type of stuff, like kind of like Lush products type of stuff. And she uses like all natural ingredients. So the first one is her lemon truffle body butter, and then her vanilla rose body butter. Both of these have really good ingredients in it, like olive oil, coconut oil, jojoba oil, shea butter, cocoa butter, beeswax, aloe vera, and a bunch of other essential oils for the scent. This one has almond oil along with olive oil and vitamin E and vanilla bean and all these good things in it. So both of these have really good ingredients in terms of things that are good for your skin to help fight stretch marks. So I also throw these into my routine. I also just use these like all over my whole body to moisturize my skin as well. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't really too worried about stretch marks once I started to see that, okay, my belly really wasn't getting that big. I really wasn't having any problems with it. But you know, just in case, I still do use these products just in case. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this pregnancy update. I think that's all the new stuff that I can update you guys on. I think I answered all of your questions. If you do have any extra questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will get to them in my next pregnancy update video. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if you're excited for baby Zion to be born. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.